Jamboard, I'm not going to read this all for time's sake, but a lot of the same advantages as Google Slides. The neat feature is though, is you can use it like a whiteboard. You can actually like write and do some different things, which we're going to practice. You can still make duplicates of this stuff. In my next session, I have a real ton of templates for you to use, so you don't have to ever make anything from scratch. And the other cool thing about Jamboards is you can actually do this live time in, I should have planned that, I didn't. You can do this live time in a Google Meet too. If you have to pivot and you all of a sudden don't have kids in front of you anymore, you can quick make a jam right from Google Meet if you like as well. But if you don't want to do that, and you're a planner like I know you all are, you make one the same way you made it in Google Slides. So you can start from scratch where you go to Drive, you go to New, and then instead of opening Google Slides, you would go all the way down to More and then down to Create Jamboard, which we are going to do. And then you would name it and do everything the same, kind of the same way that we did in Slides. So here's 2 slides to help you kind of navigate the dashboard again. You're going to be able to name the file. You're going to have not slides, but you're going to have frames. They're going to look a little different and they're going to be found at the top. And then you're going to be able to do some stuff with it, just like you could with some of the slides with this more options menu, which is that little dot, dot, dot that you see. And then here I literally copy and pasted. See, I copy and pasted that slide up there last night to make this insert menu look like it should for Jam. So we have all the different tools, which we're going to play with in a second. This just breaks down like what they do and how they do it. But let's get in there and do it together. So I see a lot of friends are getting in now. If you missed it, we're going to the demo jam. You can find it in the chat. When you open this, it should pop open to this screen. And because we only have like 12 minutes together, I would just like to invite you to play. And quick demo here. You have full edit access to it because I gave you full edit access through the share button. You can, yep, you can. And then you can do anything you want on here and start playing with these tools on the side. What I've done is I've created the frames for you already. And when you go to the very top here and click on the expand frame bar, it will show you all the different frames and activity, not all, a few different activities that you could do with the kids. And I just invite you to engage for the next couple minutes and play. If you delete something, I don't care. I can get it back. If you make a mistake, it's totally okay. I would also like to open up this little plus button over here to add some blank frames for you at the end. Come on, there we go. And so you can choose where you want to go based on whatever activity you'd like to do. And here's how we're going to do this just for time's sake. I see some of you bouncing into different ones, which is totally great. So when you go to these over arrows on either side, once you expand the frames, this lets you go to wherever you want to go. So if I want to go back to the first one, I can go back to the first one. If I want to go back to the second frame, I can go back to the second frame. Just depends on where you want to work right now. I'll stay in the first frame. And then to get rid of this like preview box here, I just go up and collapse it. And now I can start doing stuff on it. Jennifer, I see your question. I'm going to come right back to it in a second. I promise. But everybody, please feel free. Get in. Get your hands digitally dirty. And then just start doing whatever you want. So to start writing, you would go to the pen tool. And when you go to the over arrow, you can adjust the width and the color. And you could start just coloring on top of this and doing whatever you need to by holding down your trackpad or your mouse. You can also go to the erase tool and get rid of anything that you just did. This I didn't erase it all. That's okay. This select tool just gets you back to literally your arrow that helps you go through and go up here and expand and click on stuff. This sticky note right here, this is a little silly because it doesn't go away right away, but the sticky note, you can adjust the colors. Let's just say you want a green sticky note, or you could do a transparent sticky note, whatever color you want. And then you just start typing on your sticky note. And you could type as much as you wanted or as much as is reasonable. And when you're done, you click save. And here's what I find to be annoying. It doesn't go away until you click out of it or click cancel, but my sticky note's there. So I'm just going to hit cancel. And then when you have something there, now that I'm on the sticky note, let me thank you for helping on the back end, Vicki, with Jennifer's question. I'm just going to hold it down and move it around. I could expand my sticky note and make it like obnoxiously large. I could go to this little arrow over here and turn it around. You could do whatever you can play with my sticky note if you'd like to. And then this little dot, dot, dot on anything you put on here, whether it's an image or a sticky note or text, the little dot, dot, dot is the more menu where you can edit. You can duplicate. I don't know if that was Jennifer's question because I didn't see the full question yet. You can duplicate that sticky note. So there's 2 of them now. You go back to the menu. You can delete it all together. And the order is basically either bringing it in front of something or bringing it behind something. And then the other things you can do is add pictures, add images. That's how I got this apple and this Google here. So why don't we just stick with our tiger theme? When you insert an image here, it should look pretty similar to Google Slides, where you can go to upload from your computer, find a URL, find something from your camera, which I'm not going to do. I like to just go to Google image search and add an image here. I see your questions all coming in. I'm going to pop over to them in a second, unless Vicki can help. Find the image and then insert it here. I'm just making a real disaster of this first frame. And then you can, of course, move it by holding it down, making it as big as you'd like. And then going to the dot, dot, dot menu will let you edit it. And the last 2 things here, that little circle, this is a shape insertion. So you can go to any of these shapes and you can insert a shape. And then you have to draw it once you insert it, just like you do on Google Slides. And then you can edit the border color, edit the fill color. You can make it as large or as small as you'd like, exactly the same way as you would do in Google Slides. And then you have a text box right here. That's how I got this text right here. So when you click on the text box, just like you do in Google Slides, let me do that again. Just like you do in Google Slides, you click, you expand. Oh my gosh, stop, Pam. And then you type inside of it. Come on, type. And then your text box is right there. And you can expand. And you can adjust the color up here. So there's like the size, the color, the alignment, all that fun stuff. And the last little piece here is this little laser tool. So this is especially cool when you're presenting to kids, and this could be on your board in your classroom or digitally if they're remote. But this little laser tool, when you want to circle something to like focus their attention, but you don't want it there too long, you circle it like, look at the tiger's face, everybody. And it circles it, but then it goes away. So that's kind of a cool feature, especially when you're recording, so that kids can kind of have their attention drawn to here. But other than that, we have up here, just trying to think of stuff that we didn't talk about yet. This is how you name and rename, just like you do in Google Slides. You have your undo arrow and your redo arrow, your zoom in. Setting the background is pretty fun, and I'm going to go through that I don't think I did it. I'm going to go through that in my next session as well, so that like you could make the whole background like a big picture by uploading an image. Or you could also do some wild stuff like give the kids something to write on, or give the kids something to like do some coordinates on. So I'm just going to the set background and changing the background to all these different options so you can see what they are. And then if you want to clear everything all together, of course, you can hit this clear frame. And if you were like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to do that, you undo it and it all comes back. And I think, yeah, that's your crash course. That is your crash course. And of course, if you just want kids to look at this stuff as a presentation tool, make sure that when you share it with them, you just give them view only access. But right now, y'all have edit only access so that you can play.